In this video, the gender divide is one of the themes of An Inspector Calls. Keep watching for 5 key quotes that reveal how attitudes to gender drive the story. The play starts with a celebration of the engagement of Gerald Croft and Sheila Birling. When Gerald presents a ring, this is what Sheila says. "Is it the one you wanted me to have?" While she's delighted to receive the engagement ring, Sheila's language gives away her role in the relationship. That phrase, "you wanted," demonstrates that she and Gerald are not equals. Gerald, as the man, gets what he wants, and it's Sheila's job to be an obedient partner to him. This would be the usual behaviour in a male-female relationship in the early 20th century, and Sheila would have been expected to be happy to have found a so-called good husband. Of course, Priestley was writing in 1945, and later on in the play he has Sheila adopt a more feminist-friendly, post-suffragette determination when she rejects Gerald and stands up for the things that she feels strongly about. In the following quote, Mr. Birling demonstrates his lack of understanding of women in Act 1. "Clothes mean something quite different to a woman. Not just something to wear, and not only something to make them look prettier, but, well, a sort of sign or token of their self-respect." At no stage in the play do we hear Sheila and Sybil talking about clothes with each other. Yes, there is the story about Millwards, but that is more about jealousy than it is about the clothes themselves. So it's interesting that Mr. Birling has the perspective that he airs here. The way he expects women to think and behave highlights his patriarchal views and probably says more about his narrow-mindedness than it does about Sheila and Sybil's interests. But look closely at the punctuation and the filler words like "well" and "sort of." They're all clues to an actor performing the role that these lines should be delivered in a stuttering way to demonstrate that Birling isn't confident with what he's expressing. In fact, he has no idea what he's talking about. 3 more quotes coming up. By the way, if you find our video content useful, then like, subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of new content as it arrives. Here is Sheila in Act 2 after she's been encouraged to leave the room whilst Gerald tells his story. "You're forgetting I'm supposed to be engaged to the hero of it." Sheila's keen to hear all of Gerald's story. She wants to know the details of his unfaithfulness so that she can understand his behaviour the previous summer and make a decision about his proposal. Notice that she uses the phrase "supposed to" when describing their engagement. This is a giveaway that she's already changed her mind about his offer of marriage, even though she's not told him yet. She uses sarcasm when she labels him a hero, emphasising her frustration with her fiancé. In spite of having to work within a patriarchal system, there are some early signs in the play of resistance and grit from Sheila, as evidenced here. Now, Gerald reveals a lot about himself when he says the following about his relationship with Daisy in Act 2. "I suppose it was inevitable. She was young and pretty and warm-hearted and intensely grateful." Gerald's assumptions are sickening. He thinks that being an upper-class man gives him entitlement to relationships with young and pretty women, whatever the situation. He uses the word inevitable, suggesting that the affair was never not going to happen once they got into a room together. It's not a great thing to say in front of his new fiancée, Sheila, but he simply brushes it off, saying that Daisy was grateful. Now, Gerald is an unreliable narrator of this story, so it's difficult to trust his assessment of Daisy's feelings entirely. And then we hear a similar patriarchal male attitude from Eric in Act 3. He says, "She was pretty and a good sport." Just like Gerald before him, Eric judges the girl by her looks. Being a good sport suggests she allowed herself to be taken on a ride by Eric, probably because by that point she had no other choice. The information in this video is available in written form in our Inspector Calls revision guide, which you can purchase at the link in the video description. There are also a whole load more revision videos on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.